Welcome into our next leg in our race around the world here at the Pitstop Pals, part of the Reality Realm Network. My name is Kevin Oliver,
My name is Bruce Heller.
and today we are here to talk about The Amazing Race, Season 16, Episode 3, Run Like Scalded Dogs.
Yes.
And do you know who said Run Like Scalded Dogs?
No,
Do you have a guess?
I do not.
It was Jet.
Nice. That
He
makes
was he was talking about how they weren't going to have to run like scalded dogs because um they got to depart at 11 o'clock at night and they weren't going to be able to get on the bus for several hours. So they weren't going to, yeah, their bus left at 8:30 the next morning. So they weren't going to have to just run really fast.
yeah.
Do you have any other quotes for me?
I have three because admittedly I was watching this laying on my bed last night. You texted me and asked if we were recording, and I thought, oh, I haven't watched it yet. So I paused the show I was watching and watched this at like 10 o'clock last night.
Jeez. What do you
I
got?
I've seen that movie 1,000 times. I don't remember the gnome.
Yep, I got that.
That's a nice temper tantrum. Just Brandy or slash Carol said that. I don't remember which one, but it was in a very snarky tone.
Hmm.
Very condescending, which I found funny for some reason. So,
It's
and
because you're snarky and condescending.
no, it, I don't know why. That made me laugh because that was not helpful at all, but I found it funny.
Right, right.
And we'd be slower with our pants around our ankles,
Yep, I had that too.
which, duh, but still funny.
Yeah.
That should be a challenge at some point. Like run a race. Like remember the little pancake course? But
Yeah.
do that with something tied around your ankles.
Okay, I thought you meant do that in your underwear with your pants around your
No,
ankles.
not actual pants, just something that simulates it.
Didn't love that thought, but
You're welcome.
let's
I'm
see
here
what
to
I got
provide
here.
mental images.
Yeah, I really don't appreciate it. Jet's strength is between his ears.
Yeah.
Then I don't remember the gnome in the movie. I didn't get that warm and fuzzy feeling was from Cord talking about um hey, yeah, okay, you're good. Hey, pull your shirt down.
Hmm. My shirt's not, my belly's not showing.
It was a minute ago.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
Um, but when Brandy and Carol were interrogating uh Jet and Cord, they were not feeling it. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. We also have the gnome has a poker face out of this world. I could not tell if he was bluffing or a straight shooter.
I remember that.
Was Cord. Um, we didn't throw a fit because they know Spanish and we don't. That was also Cord. We also have this interaction between Jet and Cord where Cord says, "What's the rule about breaking the gnome on the way down?" And Jet's response is, "Probably not as bad as breaking your legs."
Yeah, probably.
I got we'd be slower with our pants around our ankles. We are so stupid we shouldn't reproduce. That's Jeff talking to Jordan. I do weigh more than the average cowboy, Michael. And my last one was a conversation between Louie and Phil, where Louie says, "Phil, I want to say I love you." And Phil's response is, "I don't want to hear that."
Oh, that's sad.
Um, those were my quotes. So we can get right in here. The race starts, finding out that we have to take one of two buses for a 6 hour drive through the Andes Mountains, from where they are in Chile to Barleche, Argentina. And once they get there, they have to drive themselves to Obeliche Vejo, where Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid once hit out and play a game of five-card stud against the Travelocity gnome.
Yeah,
And this, I mean, I'm with it. This whole episode is like Western, old Western themed, and I'm loving it.
yeah, it's great.
Hmm. So there's two buses. The first three teams uh, that got first, second, and third in the last leg. So Jet and Cord, Joel and or Joe and Heidi, and Brandy and Carol all get to leave at 8:30, while the other six teams, Monique and Sean, Brent and Katie, Michael and Louie, Steve and Allie, Jeff and Jordan, and Dan and Jordan, all leave at 8:50. Um, but while we are heading to the bus station, we get in a few different confessionals, things like Brandy and Carol arguing about which way is north.
Yeah,
Which directions do get people to argue. I remember Michael and Liz arguing about
Michael and
what.
Liz argued about a lot of stuff, to be fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think that's a them thing, not a directions thing.
Well, Brandy and Carol also arguing about directions.
Yeah,
Maybe it's both.
yeah, that's
Um,
where it came from.
Katie and Brent are going to the hospital. Katie's been puking. Brent thinks he's dehydrated, and they're both getting treated with IVs for several hours.
Yeah, that'll hold you behind.
But it really didn't.
It could, though. You're there for hours while other teams are still racing.
Nobody was racing. They were sitting at a bus stop.
Oh, true.
The buses didn't leave till 8:30 and 8:50.
What if the buses had left earlier, though?
Well, yeah, it could have held them behind, but it wasn't a big deal because they had to wait from the time they started or departed, which for Brent and Katie was like 1:20 in the morning
Yeah,
until 8:50 when their bus left.
true.
So they had time, and they got lucky by that late bus departure time that didn't end up hurting them at all, and they're both still in the race. Um, and once they get through their 6 hour bus ride and they got to drive, Jet and Cord do some strategic maneuver here, and they don't want to be in the lead because they know where they're going, and they're hoping that the teams that are following them around don't know where they're going. So they don't want to just lead the teams to the old joint where they're going to play five-card stud. So they pull over, and everybody passes them. The two other teams pass them, and then they just keep running their race. I
Correct.
thought this was a decent move.
It was.
We have Brent not being a very good navigator, but he has to be because he doesn't know how to drive stick. And we also have Dan, who stalls out while going up a hill in the stick car, and Jordan gets out and tries to push the car up a hill in neutral. It didn't work.
It did not.
Um,
Excuse me.
yeah, that was just wild. But it is roadblock time. Roadblock steer roping. Do you want to explain steer roping roadblock, Bruce?
Yeah, you have to lasso a target 18 feet away, and then pull it towards you to get your next clue.
Yeah, and it was like this steer head that was connected to a hay bale that had the clue tied to the back of it.
Yes.
And
Easy work for the people that kind of do this for a living, I'm guessing.
yeah, and then everybody else was complaining that it was too much like their day to day.
Oh well. Get over it.
Yeah. So the people who did this roadblock were Heidi, Carol, Jet, Jeff, Steve, Sean, Louie, Dan, and Brent. Um, And once you finish that, because it does not take Jet very long to do so, he gets it on his second attempt. So we get to find out what we do next pretty quickly. Once you finish, you drive yourself to Puerto Nirahu and search cliffs overlooking the river to find your next clue.
Yeah.
Um, and there's teams that are steer roping, there's teams that are trying to get there. And then there's Dan and Jordan, who I'm starting to become convinced that though I thought they were going to be decent in this race, and though I think that when it comes to challenges, they're still going to do all right, I think their navigation and lack of driving skills is going to lose them this race.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. We also get Brent and Katie arguing here.
We do.
Um,
That was weird.
I think it's mostly because they're both sick and tired,
Yeah.
and so easily irritable. Um, that's my read on the situation, and hopefully it does not uh, continue to uh, happen.
Yeah.
Once you get that next clue up there at the cliffs overlooking the river, we find out that it is detour time. You either get to choose between horse sense or horse power. Do you want to explain horse sense and horse power, Bruce?
Yeah, so the sense one, you're given a set of directions and you only have a stationary compass planted in the ground. You have to find a bag of loot buried in a field and then deliver the bag to a bandit. And if the markings on their bag match the coordinates, then he gives them their next clue. Horsepower is you go to a polo field and using a wooden practice horse, you score a goal with 9 strokes in order to receive a trophy with your next clue on it.
And we're doing horsepower, right?
Probably.
Okay, good answer. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
We had a lot of switching here, but here's the teams that did each of these. Horse Sense, we had Carol and Brandy, Jeff and Jordan, Joe and Heidi, Dan and Jordan, Michael and Louie, Monique and Sean. Horsepower, we had Jet and Cord, Steve and Allie, Carol and Brandy, Joe and Heidi, Dan and Jordan, Brent and Katie, Sean and Monique, Michael and Louie. You heard a lot of overlap there because a lot of them switched in the middle. Um, but then you have people like Jet and Cord who eat this up
Yeah.
and get it in less than 9 hits on their first go, and they get their trophy with their clue to the pit stop in Estancia 14 Chacabuco, which is where the pit stop of this leg of the race will be. Um, and we see a lot of people at first choosing horse sense versus horse power because they think they're going to have to ride a real horse.
Yeah.
Joke's on them. They're not.
Uh-huh.
Um, we see Jeff think that the lead bandit is the gunslinger, which is not true. He missed the whole part about the train station
Yeah.
and having to take the loot to the train station to the lead bandit. And so they spent a lot of time grabbing a lot of different bags because they were taking it to the wrong place.
Yeah. Not very smart.
No, not at all. We see Carol and Brandy switch because they didn't follow their compass directions and just jumped over to a shovel that was just stuck in the ground and they couldn't find their bag. Um, Jeff and Jordan do what we expected them to when he called out that the gunslinger was the lead bandit and took it to him, and they're getting increasingly frustrated.
Yeah.
Joe and Heidi have the bag with the wrong coordinates, so they switch to horsepower. Then we go back to the roadblock where we see Brent hit the lasso on his second try, leaving Monique and Sean, who I was really high on in the first 2 weeks, alone
Yeah.
at the roadblock. And it was at this point that we go to the pit stop where Jet and Cord become team number one and win a 10-day trip to Patagonia.
Which is in Chile. He said,
I think that I I think that it's like multiple areas because he said he didn't just say Chile.
yeah, Chile was part of it, which is funny though, because they were just there.
Just there, yeah. We have Dan and Jordan are switching because they're uh getting frustrated with trying to find the coordinates. They're not doing very well there. We have Michael and Louie who are also working on the coordinates, but they found a bag that wasn't theirs, that was Jeff and Jordan's. Then we go back to the pit stop where Steve and Allie jump up to team number two. Carol and Brandy, team number three. Uh, Joe and Heidi, team number four. We had Dan and Jordan who had to start over on the horsepower because they weren't hitting it far enough at first. It took them a while to get the hang of hitting the polo ball. Michael and Louie also switch. Dan and Jordan fail again. And Jeff and Jordan check in as team number five. Michael and Louie fail on their first time with horsepower, and so did Brent and Katie. And so do Monique and Sean. Or no, Monique and Sean. Yeah, they failed three times before they switched to the coordinates one. Dan and Jordan come in as team six, Brent and Katie team seven, Michael and Louie team eight, and Monique and Sean come in as team number nine and become eliminated.
Sad.
It was very sad.
But we kept Louie and Michael, so that's nice.
But Monique and Sean were mine, and Louie and Michael were yours. So
I
I
just
went
think
for
I just enjoy watching them more. They're entertaining to me. Where's the
that's fair.
oh
I was just high on Michael and not Michael, Monique and Sean. Are you okay, sir?
yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay. I was just high on Monique and Sean, so um, it was sad for me to see them go.
Yeah.
Next time on, we're gonna be in Germany, and Jet and Court are gonna do a little drinky drink. Is that Casey?
Yeah. Hey, Monster, come here. Hi.
Hi, Casey.
Look.
Casey.
No, there's not food here. Back up.
Okay.
And we're
Um,
now.
and we get an intersection on this next leg,
We
which
do.
is which is where the teams are going to get to work together. So that's what we have to look forward to for next week. Did you have any other thoughts on the episode before we go into power rankings?
Not really. It was just really fun and it was themed well.
Yes, I wish that they did a little bit more of that in modern day Amazing Race
So, yeah.
of the theme. All right, so who do you have at eight?
Louie and Michael,
Yep, me too.
I like them, but again, they're starting in last, so
Can they keep it up though? Can they keep up
maybe.
the Amy and Maya game?
Yeah,
Finish at the back of the pack, but never go home. Seems like there's a team every season that does that.
yeah. Did we have that this past season?
Of 38, you mean?
Yeah,
You could argue Izzy and Paige were like that for a while.
yeah,
After
that's true.
post roadblock for about three or four legs.
Yeah,
But other than that, no. But also, last season was an anomaly with it being Big Brother versus just like a normal season of The Amazing Race with normal non-reality star teams. I feel like um, there's a certain there's a certain way that it operates that's just not like a normal season might be.
Yeah, true.
Who do you got at 7?
Dan and Jordan, they finished sixth, but and they could have been higher too, but good lord, the amount of the driving mistakes, the bandit gunslinger thing, the taking forever to figure out how to hit a polo ball with a hammer. It was
The
just one
Bandit
thing after
Gunslinger
another.
thing wasn't them.
What?
The Bandit Gunslinger thing wasn't them.
It wasn't?
It was Jeff and Jordan, not Dan and Jordan.
Well, that makes more sense, but Dan and Jordan are still here for the other reasons I gave.
Yeah, they're
The
here for
polo
me
and the
too.
driving.
They're here for me too, mostly because of their driving errors that I think are going to end up costing them on a season that's got some really strong people.
Are they going to be Jack and Chelsea, where they get lost every episode?
I don't think they're going to last long enough to be Jack and Chelsea
I don't know how Jack and Chelsea lasted as long as they did, honestly.
because they were decent in challenge.
Yeah.
Who you got at 6?
Six. This is Brent and Katie.
Me too.
I don't. They're a good team. I don't know where they're at physically. If they're still sick or they're still recovering. If they're 100% by the next leg, that's
Yeah, well, I
different.
mean, last week they finished middle of the pack. I still had them ranked second last week, and I think that they are better than six, and I think that they're going to climb back up. But right now, after how that this leg went for them, and the fact that they could be still not 100% healthy coming into the next leg, I can't really justify putting them much higher.
I
Maybe
agree.
one spot higher. I was arguing between my 5 and 6, but this is where I ended up.
Yeah.
Who do you have at 5?
This is where Jeff and Jordan come in.
Yep. I was arguing between Jeff and Jordan and Brent and Katie at 5
They
and 6.
they keep surviving. They're just not the smartest people in the world, like as we saw with the bandit thing.
And we were really
They're
high on
just
them
not
after,
sick is what did it for me. So
yeah. And we were really high on them after week 1.
yeah, they won
They
the
won
first
the
leg.
leg,
And it's
but
downhill since then.
they haven't shown to be the front runner team that they looked like in the first leg since then.
Yeah.
Who do you have at 4?
This is Carol and Brandy.
Okay.
I know they're three and they finished ahead of one of the teams I have power ranked above them, but Joe and Heidi were ahead of them in the previous two legs before Carol and Brandy move up to three. I want to see them beat Joe and Heidi again.
Yeah.
So
My 4 is Steve and Allie.
that's a good one.
They got second this time, but they've been a kind of middling team. I need to see another second place finish or like another higher finish for me to put them above Joe and Heidi or Brandy and Carol. Because
They're at three for me.
yeah, well, they did really good in this week in the fact that um Steve lassoed well. They did the polo thing well. Um, both in like Steve lassoed pretty quickly. They did polo in one try. So they definitely uh did really good this week, but I don't know if that was this week or if it's going to be a continual thing. And you said that's your 3.
Yeah, I need them to prove to me that this wasn't a fluke.
Yeah, same.
I
And
probably
my
could have put them below Brandy and Carol too. I just didn't for some reason.
and I have Brandy and Carol here at
Okay.
3. Um because I do think they're a good team, and I think that they've proven that they are formidable opponents. And even though they beat Joe and Heidi, I felt like Joe and Heidi, um,
They're a better team still.
yeah, and I feel like their overall performance was still better than Brandy and Carol. The reason that Brandy and Carol finished ahead of Joe and Heidi is because Heidi couldn't lasso a freaking steer, and that put them behind. And that's it.
So I'm assuming other than three and four, our entire lists are the same because I have Joe
Yeah.
and Heidi at two and Jet and Cord at one.
Yep.
Okay, makes that
I
easy.
I really didn't think we were going to be that in line. I thought that we were going to have the top and the bottom the same, and I thought we were going to be a crapshoot in the middle like it was last week.
I'm rubbing
But
off on you.
no, I think it's the other way around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean Jet and Cord, two first place finishes, second place finish in the first week. You can't not put them at one right now. Um, and I think we've spoke enough towards where Joe and Heidi are and why we have them ranked the way that we do. That we don't need to spend any more time on that.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I thought this was a good episode. Really fun.
It was very much.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to next week where we get to see an intersection, which something that we haven't covered that many times
We have
uh,
not.
in our sphere of the seasons that we've talked about on this show.
Give me a good
As
fork in the road. Those are fun.
go home.
That was me stabbing a fork into a plate of food, by the way.
Oh, I was aware.
I guess. But also, shout out to the original Muppet movie for the scene where Kermit and Fozzie are driving and it says turn at the fork in the road. And then they turn and the camera pans back out and there's a giant metal fork stabbed into the road where it splits.
Yeah, I think you've referenced that before.
It's one of my dad's favorite movies and maybe his favorite scene in that movie. So,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
I love the
So
Muppets.
do you have anything else before we wrap up?
Check out Tribal Council chat. I had a blast with our last episode. We each did our top 5 underrated seasons, and we'll be revealing those one number at a time on socials this week. So
Yeah, I finished.
yeah, you like the
Yeah.
episode?
Yeah, it
Are
was
you
a
gonna
good
kill me
episode.
for putting South Pacific in my honorable mentions like you did when I drafted it?
Nope.
Okay,
I would have probably put South Pacific into my five.
I almost did, but you were in my head, honestly. But
That
I
was
don't want to
because of where
overrate it
you
because I
drafted
like
it.
Sophie. There's a whole rest of the season to think about, and Coach is really annoying.
Right. That
Oh,
was a okay. I was in your head, but that was a season draft where there was a lot better seasons as a whole
yeah,
that got left on the cutting room floor for you to pick South Pacific.
yeah. That was just me. You're a Bears fan. You're used to people reaching in the draft when there's better talent available. Mitch Trubisky.
Hey, shut up.
I actually am sad you guys lost last night, and I hate the way you lost because the Rams kicker is one of my favorite Missouri Tigers ever, and I want to be happy for him, and I just can't be happy that the Rams are advancing. So I don't like that
I'm sad because
because your
um
team lost. That's fair.
well yeah, but we did what we did in the fourth quarter just to do what we did in overtime.
Yeah,
And I hate that.
but my Trubisky comparison was an accurate comparison to my South Pacific draft pick. I just
It
didn't bring a
is,
bunch of stuff to do it.
but you need to just keep in mind if we didn't make that reach,
Yeah.
your Chiefs aren't the Chiefs.
No, I don't think you take Mahomes. I think you take Watson there because he was a big deal coming out of college. And then you're probably worse off, honestly.
But you were talking about leaving better talent on the table, which
Yeah,
is why I'm referencing Patrick Mahomes.
yeah. But
So if we actually get our heads out of our asses, you are screwed, my friend.
speaking of the Chiefs, I'm happy. We requested permission to talk to Eric Bieniemy today. So
Yeah, and Matt Nagy hasn't got a head coaching job, so you might just fire him, like I said. Huh.
Andy Reid doesn't fire like his people that he's been loyal to for a while. That's just not a thing
So
he typically does.
so what's your explanation for
That
interviewing
he
somebody
knows
for
that he knows Nagy really close. He's a finalist in Tennessee.
okay, there's
He's
other
just
finalists
preparing in
too.
advance. And Eric Bieniemy is your running backs coach. We fired our running backs coach. So if nothing else, maybe it's just if Nagy ends up staying, Bieniemy still comes back.
No, he won't. Oh, it literally says for the OC job.
Yes. I still
Uh,
think Nagy will get hired by Tennessee because they're the Titans. They don't make good decisions. But
you heard it here first, folks. Bruce is finally admitting that Nagy being hired by Tennessee would be a bad decision.
oh, I've known it all along. I'm still rooting for it to happen. I want what's best for my team and what's best for him. He helped us win a Super Bowl or two.
I
So
don't know that he did that much helping, but okay. Anyway,
he was our
quote,
OC for maybe the second or at least on the staff for one of the two back to backs. So
isn't Andy Reid your play caller?
I mean, yeah, but there's a whole staff of offensive coaches.
Right.
Enemy was calling plays for a while. I don't know when Andy took that back, but if the enemy comes back, maybe Andy gives it to him again.
But I'm just saying, Nagy's not calling plays. You can't give him that much credit.
Yeah, and for at least one of the back to backs, EB was still OC, but Nagy did something. Like they
I
wouldn't have
think he was
him
passing game
in his
coordinator.
face. I don't know
I
what it
think
was, but he did
I
something.
I think he was passing game coordinator.
Huh. Well, there you go.
Um,
Because Bieniemy's clearly a running backs coach, so or leans that direction. So,
yeah.
but we should probably get off of this episode.
Yeah. So also check out Roundtable Talk, where we are currently covering Traders US Season 4, which is a lot of fun in itself. Be on the lookout for challenge coverage for the New Generation Challenge podcast in the coming months when 42 Cast is confirmed and released. Check out our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you like to spend your time, you can find us there. And buy our merch at Redbubble. The link to that is in our social media bios. All of that to say, the world is waiting for you. Good luck
Travel safe.
and go.